Good morning, everybody. My dear students, in mud industries or factories. So, first example for lathe machines. So, using the lathe machines, what are the different operations carried out on that machines? We have to study detail one by one. Do you understand? No? So, using the lathe machine, suppose already a type of machines you have to study, or you have already studied in the module number 1. Studies means, so what is lathe? What are the important parts of lathe machine? And what are the important parts, and what are the specification of the lathe machine, and different parts and individual functions you have studied. So in this topic, module number 2, machine tool operations, different types of operations carried out on that machine, we can detail study one by one. So in that, suppose example we can take for the lathe machine. So the lathe operations, there are 10 important operations carried out on the lathe machine. So first one is a turning operation with the help of lathe machine. Second one is a taper turning, thread cutting, boring, pacing, drilling and reaming, knurling and milling and grinding. So these 10 important types of operations carried out on the with the help of the lathe machine. So detailed study one by one. So first one is a turning operation. What is turning operation? That's the question. Turning is a machining process used for a generation of external cylindrical and conical surfaces on a rotating workpiece by means of a single point traversing cutting tool. So this process is widely usually performed on a lathe, wherein a single point cutting tool is feed against the rotating workpiece. Okay. So turning operation, simple definition. So turning operation, when the tool moves parallel to the axis of rotation of the workpiece. Simple. Turning operation means the tool movement taking place parallel to the axis of the workpiece. A cylindrical surface can be produced. This operation is termed as cylindrical or plane turning. That means to reduce the given material, diameter of the given material to reduce. Turning. So at that time, the tool movement taking place parallel to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece. So this process it is called as a turning operation. Suppose you can take taper turning. So taper turning means when the tool moves an angle to axis of rotation of the workpiece, is tapered surface can be produced. When the tool moves at an angle to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece, tapered surface can be produced. This operation termed as a taper turning operation. This term is known as taper turning operation. So in this there are two important methods in taper turning operation. First one is a swelling compound rest method, tailstock offset method. Suppose swelling the compound rest method means some simple formula is there. So tan theta is equal to d minus d divided by 2l. Then you can get the angle theta, tan is of some value. So according to that 6 degree or 7 degree depending on the dimensions given in the drawing, according to that you have to calculate the angle theta. So once you can calculate the theta value, then you can set the compound rest same degree 8 degree, then you can set the 8 degree, then you can start the work, you will get the taper can be produced. Clear this point. So how it is put the data in that formula. D is the taper diameter, tapered major diameter of the tapered diameter, and small d is the minor diameter of the taper, not job length diameter. Don't confuse. I am only discussing about the tapered area. Suppose 100 mm is there, in that 20 mm you can take a taper. Taper means it is not a straight line, it is a conical shape. Okay, D is the bigger diameter of the tapered area, and small d is the smaller diameter of the tapered area, and 2L is the length of the tapered area, not complete whole job length. This is very very important. Many of the students mistaking total length of the job is 100 mm, you can put it 100 into 2. That is wrong. Only I am discussing about, in this case, only the tapered area. Taper turning operation you have to concentrate. So capital D is the diameter of the maximum diameter of the tapered area, and smaller diameter of the tapered area, and length of the tapered area. Then you can put these values in this equation. Tan theta is equal to D minus D divided by 2L. Then tan theta is equal to, we will get some value, and theta is equal to tan inverse of that value, we will get the degree. So once you can calculate the angle theta value, then you can substitute the you can, according to that the degree, you can set the compound rest. That is why it is swelling compound rest. The compound rest, swelling, the moment. Suppose example, you can take 6 degree or 7 degree or 8 degree. Then according to that you can set that. Then you can start the work, and surface can be produced. The tapered surface can be produced. This is a simple mechanism. So next we can go for the thread cutting operation. What is thread cutting operation? So thread cutting operation, so simple calculation is there. So according to that you have to make a different types of threads. V thread is there, square thread, acme thread, butter thread, different types of thread produced. Simple calculation, according to the calculation you set the gauge, then to engage the lead screw, then you can take the thread performance, the thread, we get the threads. Okay, so next is a boring operation. So the boring operation means the already drilled hole, enlarging already drilled hole, it is called as boring operation. Enlarging already drilled hole, it is called as boring operation. How it is enlarging already drilled hole? Enlarging. What is the necessity? What is the reason for enlarging the drill hole? So the before, suppose example you can take a 25 mm hole is required as per your drawing, as per your this one. But the standard available in the market drill bit is 24 mm. It is not a 25 mm. It is not available. Nearer to that value, first you can make a hole on that workpiece using the 24 drill bit, and remaining 1 mm remove. It is called as enlarging the hole. Already drilled hole enlarged. So as per your drawing requirement is 25 mm. So 1 mm material removed from that component or workpiece. So it is called as boring operation. Okay. So the boring operation means, so enlarging already drilled hole, it is called as boring operation. It is usually a single point cutting tool to enlarging the hole. Actually the requirement is 25 mm. Drill bit is available in the market, standard drill bit is available in the market is 24 mm. So 1 mm material you have to remove with the help of boring operation. That's why already drilled hole enlargements as per your requirement, you can increase. Very small amount of 1 mm material removed or drilled hole will get the 25 as per your drawing. So this process it is called as boring operation. So pacing operation, next one is a pacing operation means to reduce the length of the given workpiece. Turning means to reduce the diameter of the given workpiece. That is a turning and pacing, the only difference we can see clearly understand. Turning means to reduce the given diameter of the workpiece as per your requirement. It is called as turning operation. At that time the tool is moving parallel to the axis of the workpiece. In pacing operation, to reduce the length of the given workpiece, suppose 100 mm, as per your requirement 90 mm is required, 10 mm material you have to remove that as per your requirement. At that time the tool is moving perpendicular to the rotation of the workpiece. These 2 points are very important, turning and pacing. Turning is to reduce the dia, pacing is to reduce the length. The two movement taking, in case of turning operation, the two movement taking place parallel to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece. In pacing operation, to reduce the length, the tool movement taking place perpendicular to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece. Simple, only two sentences you can write it. There is more than that. Turning operation and pacing operation. Next, also drilling it is possible. Suppose you can help of drill bit, you can use that. And drill bit is put in a sleeve, that is the tailstock. Then you can slowly feed it. You can make a hole drill on that cylindrical center or cylindrical surface area. So drilling it is possible. Suppose it is not required, then better you can use the drilling machine. There are important two types of drilling machines. So radial drilling machine and radial and vertical drilling machine. You can use that. You can make a hole on that workpiece. So okay, drilling operation. So drilling operation means, so drilling operation. So perpendicular to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece, flat surface can be produced. This operation is termed pacing. Okay, already. Next one is after apart from the turning pacing operation, a variety of machining operations can be carried out on the lathe machine. So example, in drilling, reaming, knurling, milling, and grinding. So drilling means to make a hole on that cylindrical surface area. It is called as drilling operation. So next one you can go for the reaming operation. What is the reaming operation? So the reaming operation means, you can see that figure clearly, understand next. So this is a turning operation, explain in detail. To reduce the given diameter, this is a cutting speed, F per minute, tool feet, inch per revolution, depth of cut. So there are three important parameters in this case: velocity of the movement of the workpiece and feed and depth of cut. Three important parameters. This is a workpiece, this is a turning tool, this is a chip to remove the material from the workpiece. To reduce the turning means to reduce the given diameter. Suppose this is a given material. So suppose example you can take this is a 100 mm or 150 mm, and actually is required 100 means that is 90 mm is required from this point to this point. Then you have to remove the material excess 5 mm material removed from this here. So it is called as turning. At that time the tool is moving from parallel to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece in this direction. Tool is moving from parallel to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece. Feed, depth of cut, and rotation of the workpiece, velocity. So these are the important parameters. These parameters are very important, and only you can write turning means to reduce the given diameter. At that time the tool moving from parallel to the axis, this is the workpiece axis, parallel to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece. It is called as turning operation. So the machining operation in which the workpiece is reduced to the cylindrical section of required diameter called turning. Clear, understand? The machining operation in which the workpiece is reduced the cylindrical section to reduce the diameter, cylindrical section to reduce the cylindrical section of the required diameter is called turning operation. So at that time the tool movement taking place parallel to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece. These two sentences are very important. So next you can go for the pacing operation. Suppose this example, this is a check, this is a headstock, this one is a workpiece, and this is a single point cutting tool. This is a rotating. In this case, the tool is moving perpendicular to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece to reduce the length. But in the last case is to reduce the dia, but in this pacing operation to reduce the length of the given raw material as per your requirement. At that time the tool movement taking place perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece. So it is called as a pacing operation. Simple line diagram. This is workpiece, single point cutting tool, direction of the feed and workpiece, and this is the check, three-jaw check or four-jaw check, using any one of them. This is the check is fitted in the headstock. So this is the pacing operation. Pacing is defined as an operation performed on a lathe to generate either flat surface or shoulders at the end of the workpiece to reduce the given diameter of the workpiece, to reduce the length of the given material. Pacing operation, at that time the tool movement taking place perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece. So this is the pacing operation. You can see that live. So this is the to reduce the lengths. This is the rotation to stop, check. So this one is the material, raw material, and soft side and cross side handle is there. Then we can reduce the length of the given net. It is called as a feed and depth of cut and velocity. Three parameters are very important in this case. Taper turning. Taper turning is an operation lathe to produce a conical surface or it is not a straight line on the workpiece. It is called as taper turning operation. By swelling the compound rest to rest, why it is swelling? According to the calculation, you have to swelling and compound rest and tight it, then you can start to get the produce the conical surface or tapered surface of the workpiece. So you can see this is a swelling the compound rest. It is not a straight line. This is a 6 degree or 7 degree. According to that, the mark is there. And according to that calculation, you have to set the compound rest. Then you can start to get the tapered area. From this point to this point, which is tapered area, this one is a job. So in this calculation, before calculating the alpha value or theta value, so tan theta is equal to d minus d divided by 2l. Here d is this is the major diameter of the tapered area, maximum diameter. Small d is the minor diameter of the tapered area, this one. And from this point to this point is the L is the length of the tapered area. You can put these three values, you will get the angle. According to that angle, you have to set the compound rest. Then you can start to produce the tapered or conical shape of the component. Clear this point. This method is called as swelling the compound rest method. Next, you can go for the knurling operation. What is the knurling? What is the use of the knurling operation? So you can see this is a workpiece. This one is a chuck, headstock. It is a rotating. It is a tail stock support to the other end. So gripping purpose, the main function of the knurling is to gripping purpose with the help of knurling tool. You can use that. It is a diamond shape or square shape or hexagon or pentagon, octagon. What depending on the shape of the tool will impress on the workpiece. Only it is used for the gripping purpose. Knurling operation done on the component external surface. Tool post is there. Tool post you can fit in the knurling tool. Then you can impress. This is the main thing. Why it is impressing on that workpiece? It is a gripping purpose. Okay. So knurling is defined as operation performed on the lathe to generate serrated surface of the workpiece using special tool called is knurling tool with impress its pattern on the workpiece. Say this is a knurling tool. You can see that. Before this one, after knurling you can make the shape change. First you can finish that work. First setting that shaft start, then you can impression that workpiece, finish that, start and finish that. Knurling. It's a simple mechanism. So in the thread cutting is a V-type thread. This one is it shows that the V-type thread. It is a single point cutting tool. This is job from here to here is job. One end will be supported to the chuck, other end will be supported to the tail stock. So this is a workpiece. This is a V-type thread. So V-type thread is a helical edge formed of the cylindrical or conical rod. A single point cutting tool is used to cut the V-thread. Single point cutting tool. So the cutting edge will be only one. By maintaining an appropriate gain ratio, the screw threads are required. Pitch can be cut. This is a threading off. So next you can go for drilling machine operation. What is drilling machine? Next you can study about the drilling machine. Lathe machine is 10 operations is complete. So next you can go for the drilling machine. What is drilling machine? Already we have studied. Any component or any required point of drill on the component using, there are two important types of drilling. Many types are there. Maximum you can use the two important types: vertical drilling machine and radial drilling machine. So drilling machine operations carried out on that, you can see these are the important A, B, C, D, E of different operations using the different tools. So this is you can see. Example 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of tools, The first one is a boring operation. Boring means already enlarged hole, already drilled hole, enlarging, it is called as boring operation. I have told. So 25 mm is required. Nearer to that only, first make a hole on that component, 24 mm. Then 1 mm material removed from this component. It is called as boring operation. Clear this point. Second one, Counter boring. Counter boring means you can see this figure clearly understand. It is not a straight line. Some of the area, some of the portion. So it's a enlarging hole and remaining is a different diameter. Suppose this is a 10 mm, this is a some area will be 20 mm. That is in this process it is called as counter sinking, counter boring operation. Counter boring. You can see that counter boring. It is not a straight line. So this one is a straight line. This is also a straight line. Diameter is the same from inlet to the outlet. But here, some portion it is a bigger diameter, and remaining some portion as per your requirement it is a smaller diameter. With the help of counter boring tool, make a hole on the distance as per your requirement. You can make hole, enlarging hole in this component. So next is a counter sinking. Counter sinking means you can see this figure. It is a straight line. It is a rectangular block, but here it is not a straight line. Some of the area will be conical shape. Some of the area will be conical shape. It is a bigger size as compared to this one, and remaining is same, straight line. Counter sinking operation with the help of counter sinking tool. Spot facing means you can first make a hole on that component. The topmost surface of the component or workpiece, spot facing tool, you can use that. Very small amount of material is removed from the topmost surface of the drill tool. It is called as a spot facing process. Next is tapping. Tapping means other drill hole. So other drill hole. So if you make internal threads on that hole, or drill hole with the help of this tapping tool. Drill hole, inside that drill hole you can make a threads with the help of this tapping tool. It is called as tapping operation. Boring is, you can see, boring is done on the drilling machine to increase the size of an previously already drilled hole, enlarging previous drilled hole is enlarged. It is called as a boring operation. So you can see this. So earlier this type, this 24 mm, but with the help of boring tool you can increase the hole. So you can see that boring tool, 3D view. This is a boring tool. This one is a boring head, direction of the feed and the workpiece, and then tool rotation. So this is the boring operation. Already drill hole, enlarging, and it is called as boring operation. So counter boring, you can use this counter boring tool. So it is a sum of the area will be larger dia, and remaining sum of the area will be smaller the diameter as compared to this one. This is not a uniform hole. Some portion will be enlarging as compared to other portion. So with the help of boring tool, counter boring tool, then you can increase the or you can remove the material from the drill hole. Counter boring is to increase the size of the hole at one end through a small depth. Small depth requirement as per your requirement. Small depth means as per your requirement to enlarging hole in the component. It is called as counter boring operation. So you can see that figure clearly, 3 dimensions. So this is a counter boring. So counter boring depth. Okay. Next one you can go with the counter sinking. Counter boring means it is a straight line. Both sides, left and right side, it is a straight line to enlarging the hole, but it is a conical shape. Some portion it is a conical shape, and remaining portion is same straight line. With the help of this counter sinking tool to make a hole on that component. So the counter sinking is the operation to making a end of the hole into a conical shape. End of the hole into a conical shape is taper, conical shape of taper. So counter sinking is the operation to making the hole, to making the end of a hole into a conical shape. So it is called as this one counter sinking operations. Counter sinking operation. This counter sinking tool, it is called as a counter sinking tool. This counter sinking tool is fitted in a sleeve. It is a rotating workpiece is fixed. Make a hole on that workpiece, conical shape. That is important. Counter sinking means the counter sinking is the operation of making the end of a hole into end of the hole. This is the starting point. This one is the end of the hole. Starting to end hole is conical shape, into a conical shape. That's why it's called as a counter sinking operation. So you can see this figure clearly, understand. So this is the counter sinking operation. You can see this figure. This bolt head will be fitted inside that the topmost surface is straight line. It is not a upper and lower. This is a fitted in this hole. It is a straight line. It is a plane. You can see here. This one is a boot. These two is a not boot. This is an example. The bolt will be completely inside. You can put it here. This head, bolt head. That's why it is good. It is topmost surface. You can see this is a above that topmost surface area. Then below that topmost. These two are rejected. This is not good. This one is a good. Cylinder head will be this same line will be matched with this same line. Topmost surface of the workpiece. Tapping. Tapping is the process of cutting internal threads. Tapping is the process of cutting the internal threads. Tapping is the process of cutting the internal threads with a thread cutting tool. It is called as a tap. Thread cutting tool is called as a tap. So you can see this is a tap. This one is a workpiece. So already drilled in this workpiece. So you can make a threads inside that hole. Thread is required. Then with the help of a tapping tool, you can use that. You can put a thread inside that component or workpiece. This is the 3D figure. This one is a tap workpiece. Okay, tap is fitted in the sleeve and it is rotating with the help of machine drilling. So you can see this figure clearly. Last one. Reaming is the process of smoothing of the surface of the drill holes with a reamer. Reaming is the process of smoothing the surface of the drill hole. Surface of the drill hole. Smoothing. Very small, minute element is removed. Then it is called as turning operation. Reaming operation. Sorry. So the reaming operation, you can see this is a reamer tool. This one is a workpiece. So very small amount of material removed. There is a very small amount of material removed from inside that hole. That's why the process is smoothing of the surface, smoothing the surface of the drill hole. The process is smoothing surface of the drill hole with help of reamer tool. That's all. So you can see this figure clearly this time. So this one is a reaming operation. Reaming is a process of smoothing the surface of the drill holes with a reamer. So you can see there is a end view of that reamer. So this is the end view. So third, you can see 3D dimension, 3D reaming process, 3D diagram for reaming process. So this one is a workpiece. This one is a reamer tool. This one is a reamer tool and feed into direction. This reamer tool is rotating. This reamer is fitted in the sleeve.